Hello and welcome to my recap of my Let's Play of Baldurs Gate 3, where I summarize what happens in the first 30 videos of my Let's Play with Yogos and Pluto. First we wake up in a pod on a ship. First thing that happens in the story is we get one of these little guys, and he gets put, "Hey friend, num num num." He doesn't actually eat the eye, he just goes inside of it. Then the massive tentacle monster spaceship just attacks this town, which we don't at the moment know the name of. And they do not fare too well in this battle. Heroes emerge and start attacking the spaceship with dragons. And they do good damage. The spaceship travels through a bunch of different realms of some kind, and the dragons are still in pursuit. The ship is under attack and systems are failing, and we get free of our little containment. This is Pluto's main character. He's player 1 in this, so we get to see this character stumbling around. The ship we were on travels through more dimensions and is now on this hell battlefield. Look at these little guys. Little imp creatures. And then I wake up. That's me. I'm playing as Gale, one of the companion characters that you could choose from the start instead of a custom one. Pluto is playing as Lae'zel. I'm playing as Gale, and Yogos is playing as a custom character, a tiefling, as you can see on the left. We make our way through the ship, investigating our strange new surroundings. And we encounter things both completely abnormal and grotesque on this ship. We find friends on board the ship. We rescue this chick from this pod, and her name is Shadowheart. She's going to be one of our companions on this journey. We make our way to the helm of the ship that we are in, and there is a battle taking place between the demons and the mind flayers. The mind flayers are overrun. We take control of the ship and defeat the demons, and then we get attacked by this guy. Look at him. He's a good boy. He's a good dragon. No, the ship we are on has a big old crash, and it seems everyone across the land is definitely noticing our arrival. There's this guy we see here, but we don't know him and we're not friends. Ah! We fall off the ship and start plummeting to the earth, and then, whoosh, we get saved. Since Pluto is the main character, with Lae'zel here, we get to see Lae'zel float away instead of our character do that. But that's just how the game functions. And then we wake up as our character. Exploring our surroundings, we find our friend that we set free on board the alien ship. Ugh, tentacles are above us. We make our way up the coast and enter this catacomb. And we make it through this catacomb without setting off any of the traps. And not knowing the controls and misclicking, getting all the characters killed. And after, we don't say it's come often, but this was really early on, and I had no idea how to play the game or control the characters effectively. After we decided to reload the game, I decided to immediately go trigger the trap again, but this time in turn-based mode, which I didn't know was a thing because I have never played a Dungeons and Dragons type game before. So, now I knew how to get out of this tricky situation that would have been easily done by anyone else. After killing some spooky scary skeletons, we find a friendly skeleton guy named Withers, and he, once we get access to our camp, is a helpful NPC that will allow us to revive ourselves and respec our levels. We make our way deeper into the crypt, and we discover that there are some people in here. Some grave robbers. We're trying out the non-lethal combat system that's in the game, and knock out all of the grave robbers. We head outside of the crypt to what would be the primary entrance of it, and find more grave robbers. Now, at this point, I should inform you that knocking people out in this game doesn't really do anything. Like, not that I've ever noticed in the game so far. So, we don't do that as much anymore. But for now, we can just read their minds and then scare them away. And just a natural nat 20 on the intimidation check. They are getting out of here. There they go. We continue exploring the area, and we find an injured mind flare on board the crash. And instead of letting it peer into our mind, we peer into its mind. We could have leaned in and given this guy a kiss, but we decided to resist. Probably better for our health than not let our bodies be sustenance for this creature. And then we take a little revenge on our captor. Along our path, we end up finding another friend, who we don't know is a friend yet. They're just an interesting looking character, but we're not going to judge them by looks. I don't know anything about D&D, so he could be a completely normal looking character for us. And I try to be nice and, you know, help him out. I don't see anything. Whoa! Yep, that was bound to happen. You know, I don't think I mind this position too much. But everything chills out, and we get a new friend in our midst. This is Astarion, and he is in no way anything but anything out of the ordinary. Definitely not a vampire, which our character somehow doesn't immediately recognize. When I was playing this at this time, I figured just everyone immediately knew, but apparently it came as a surprise. We make our way around, and we get to the gate of the grove. And there's a pack of goblins that will be on us at any second. The defenders do a not so good job of getting people into safety with their slow action and inaction. And now they're stuck on the battle side, and now we had to fight a whole bunch of goblins? Or gnolls? What were they again? Goblins. Ooh, and we get this guy showing up to help us. Look at him. Let's introduce Will. A swordsman, a wandering swordsman. You may also know Will as the Blade of the Frontier, as he just took down another one. And now, we're going to be let inside the Grove. The Grove is a somewhat hostile to outsiders run by Druid camp, or city. And again, they don't like outsiders very much. And that's basically the crux of the next part of the story. Long story short, over time we're taking the side of the refugees. There's two groups in here. Let me explain that first. There are two groups in here. The refugee group and the druid group. The refugee group is taking shelter here, and the druid group hates that they're taking shelter because they think the refugees are the reason why there's goblins all over the place. The druids don't want the refugees there, and they want to kick them out, and the refugees don't want to get slain on their way on the road. So, what we tend to do is pick the refugee side a little bit and try to convince everyone that it's okay that they can stick around, at least until we help make things a little bit better. We also do our best to try to lower tensions between people. And it doesn't always work. Very close though. 13 out of 15. Sad. Great start to diplomatic relations, eh? This lady named Nadria was ambushed inside the grove at the top of this hill while looking through her telescope. She was one of the people we saw on the way in that saw us go down. Here's a bit where things stop coming from my perspective of gaming, because I lost a lot of footage, like, in the middle of my Baldurs Gate Let's Play, but Pluto, the person on the bottom right that you now see, was kind enough to lend me their footage. So now, I still have the footage uploaded from his perspective, and I can continue the story without there being some big gap. One of the more noteworthy characters in this entire grove is obviously this squirrel. Now, Yogos here can speak with animals. And this guy, we're in his territory and he wants us gone. There's plenty of room for the both of us, definitely. Let's try that roll. Go for it, Yogos. Hooray, a nat 20 and a 17. And now we are friendly with Squirrel. Withers makes his way to our camp, which is the first time we're seeing our camp. Our camp is a little rest spot that we can go to at any time when it's safe, and sort of wreck in order, talk to characters, manage inventories, that sort of thing. I get a little bit worried because I find out that my character has a canonical bomb in their chest. Isn't that interesting? Gale was once favored by the gods, then he did some stuff which he wasn't supposed to do, and now he has a bomb in his chest and is immortal. And is amortal, not immortal. But it's a good thing I have companionship to help me through these trying times. Look, I have a friend cat. Look at him. It's Terra. Terra, hey, how's it going? I got a cat with wings and that talks to me. Isn't that cool? Good cat. The cat teaches me that in order to control my bomb in my chest, I have to eat magical items every now and then. Also, I told Terra about the worm in my head that the alien mothership put in my face, and they can't really they don't really have any good ideas on how to fix that, but they believe in our ability to find a solution. We finally get a chance to talk with Will, and we find out that he also has a worm in his head, just like us, and that he also has some hidden backstory that he doesn't want to share with us at the moment. Something to do with devils. I didn't really pay too much attention to Will because Will is not the companion I have following me around. I have Shadowheart following me around. See, each one of us has one character that they're going to have following them around throughout the most of the game, and replacing that character if we find a character we like more. So right now I have Shadowheart, Lae'zel, which is Pluto, has no one else at the moment, and Yogos is going to grab Will here. We have some kids here in the grove as well. Hopefully no one bullies them. We teach this guy some very basic sword fighting, just to help him out, make him feel more confident about his crappy situation of being trapped in a grove that hates him, being surrounded by enemies. You know, he totally will be able to deal with enemies out there with that tiny short sword. After exploring around a little bit more, we find this underground area where these kids sort of run things.
Look, most games don't let you bully children.
Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite you, Yogos. Don't bully those children. This creature isn't what it appears to be. And if you want to find out what exactly this ox is in the deep lore, you have to watch the actual series. Enjoy. Oh no, it seems like Yogos' sins are catching up to him. There's a voting system in the game where your people can choose to show what answer they'd vote for when another person is in a conversation with one of the in-game NPCs. As you can see, me and Pluto and I have both voted on something, so this is something that is being addressed directly towards Yogos. And Yogos has to get a nat 20 with no bonuses in order to not go to jail. Does he get the nat 20? No, he does not. Off the prison Yogos goes and his bird. Yogos for a second time has bullied the children, and now he must go again. I am able to walk around still, and I can give a inspiration to whoever is in the conversation and maybe be able to help their role. It turns out that Yogos' summons are in trouble for bullying the children. So he really ganged up on those children and just completely bullied them, ruined their day. I go ahead and immediately cast guidance on his little guy, and hopefully he could win the deception check. But apparently, little guys, animals specifically, have like a negative modifier when it comes to rolling a perception check. So he just fails, and then gets sent to prison for bullying children. Yogos is able to escape pretty easily though, because he has thief equipment. He is able to pickpocket, and he is able to lockpick. We find an entrance behind the prison that leads to an underground little cavern with a couple of goblins that are camping out underneath the grove that we pretty quickly take care of. And when I say getting through this fight quickly, I mean being arduously slow at clearing this fight because me and Yogos and I need to stop saying me and someone else, it's Yogos and I are reading like every single tooltip, reading all of this stuff because we haven't played the game before, unlike Pluto, and we've never, at least I have never played a game like this. All those spell slots that are on the bottom of the screen where you can cast 1,000 different things. Like, the closest I've ever gotten to something that looks like this is XCOM. And also, what's really slowing down our progress is at the top right there. There's like a picture of a bear or something. It is a trap that's on the map that we are having the hardest time just trying to avoid. But by now, in this footage, we have disabled it. But it took us a minute. Like, this fight took way longer than it should have. We find someone on the ground who is kind of injured. And I go through the steps of trying to heal him up. Lae'zel is Pluto. Shadowheart has some healing abilities, and I also had potions. I send Shadowheart in. Takes me a second. Hold on, I'm reading like every single tooltip and menu item. There I go. Took me long enough. And he's back up. Alright, thank you very much for watching part 1 of my recap of the first 30 parts of my Baldurs Gate 3 Let's Play. Now, this will be about the first 10 parts worth of content edited down into just this video. That's like 10 hours of videos edited down to this like hopefully less than 20-minute episode. I haven't quite finished editing the video yet, so who knows how long exactly it'll be. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. And I'll be making at least one more, maybe 2 more of these recaps, depends how much stuff I skip over. Because not all of the stuff that I've covered so far is important to the story. I could be cutting out more, but I feel like tracing along with like every single decision seems like the most fun way of doing it, but it's also the most work. This took me all day just to make this one 19-minute video in comparison to me just uploading a video that I didn't edit. So a lot more work. And I hope you appreciate the work. And I will see you in future Baldur's Gate videos. Goodbye.